We're saving that bullet for someone else. You want to bet?
Previously on Supernatural Season 2. After the brothers Sam and Dean Winchester and their dad John get T-boned by a possessed truck driver, they're all rushed to the nearest emergency room, and things aren't looking too good for Dean. In fact, he's beside himself, having an out-of-body experience as his spirit wanders the halls of the hospital, being ignored by everyone around him.
I said shut up! Dude, I full-on Swayze that mother.
In his ghostly state, Dean meets a girl, who we think is also just dying at first, but it turns out she's a Reaper, sent there to take Dean's soul downtown.
You're much prettier than the last Reaper I met.
I was wondering when you'd figure it out.
John gives Sam a grocery list, and while Sam is out doing the shopping, he realizes that these are all ingredients to summon a demon. He's convinced that John just wants to summon Yellow Eyes, the big bad villain from last season, and the one who organized the truck delivery earlier in the episode. So Sam gets all mad at John for having a one-track mind, hell-bent on revenge, while Dean is dying just a few rooms over. What John doesn't say though is that he's actually calling up Yellow Eyes to cut a deal with him. John asks Yellow Eyes to save Dean's soul in exchange for the magical Colt, a gun so powerful it can kill any demon or devil. There's a little haggling going on, and John puts his own soul on the table to seal the deal.
Today's your lucky day, kid.
Dean wakes up a little groggy and confused, and his dad drops some huge truth bombs just before keeling over from unnatural causes. In the next episode, the brothers give their dad a traditional hunter's burial. A week after the funeral though, neither of them are dealing with their grief very well. Sam spends all his time going through John's old monster hunting notes, whilst Dean tries to find Zen with the art of motor vehicle maintenance. Sam's digging leads them to a bar called Harville's Roadhouse, so the brothers head there in the only rental that Bobby had available.
Feel like a friggin' soccer mom.
It's humiliating.
The place doesn't look great, but Ellen and Joe Harville give the boys a good old hunter's welcome.
Sam? Dean?
They also meet an apple genius called Ash, who offers to help them track down Yellow Eyes.
That's Ash?
He's a genius.
You gotta be kidding me. This guy's no genius. The Leonard Skinner roadie.
I like you.
Thanks.
But the Winchester boys have some time to kill whilst Ash's laptop boots up, so they head to a nearby circus and end up doing some casual monster hunting in the funhouse. When they return to the Roadhouse, Ash explains that his fancy weather app can forecast Yellow Eyes' future movement, and he says he'll text the brothers if something comes up. They say their goodbyes, and Dean goes back to fixing their dad's car. See what I mean about not dealing with their grief too well? Surprisingly, Dean's percussive maintenance worked, and soon the boys are back on the road, hunting things, saving people, you know, the family business. They get wind of some vampires in Montana, and while they're investigating, they meet another hunter called Gordon Walker.
You want to stick that thing someplace else? I'm not a vampire.
What do you know about vampires?
How to kill him. Now seriously, bro. That knife's making me itch.
Gordon sees the world in black and white. To him, there's good, there's evil, and nothing in between. But this outlook really gets put to the test when Sam learns the vampires they've been tracking are basically vegan now, feeding only on cattle and keeping humans off the menu. Gordon still wants to stake those hippie night crawlers though, but Dean and Sam side with the monsters on this one and help the vamps escape. The whole incident leaves Dean questioning his own moral compass, but at least the brothers seem to have made up.
Because you're a pain in my ass.
Guess I might have to stick around to be a pain in the ass then.
Thanks.
A little while later, Sam starts having spooky psychic visions again, and the brothers head to Oklahoma where they meet Andy Gallagher, a kid with mind control powers.
Tell the truth.
That's what
We hunt demons.
What?
At first, the brothers think that Andy is the one using his mind control to trigger all the murder-suicides that Sam sees in his visions. But when another eerie death happens while Andy is with the brothers, they realize the true culprit is still a mystery. It turns out that Andy has an estranged evil twin called Anson, and he's been the one sending everyone else on a suicide spree with his mind powers.
I have an evil twin.
The telepathy bros have a little head-to-head on a quiet road that night, where evil brother Anson mentions that he's been in contact with Yellow Eyes, explaining that the big bad demon has a plan for all the psychic kids. Tensions rise, and good guy Andy is forced to kill Anson in order to save both Dean and his girlfriend. So all's well that ends well, except Sam is getting increasingly worried about the fact that every psychic child they meet seems to end up becoming a killer, one way or another.
Now he's a hero. He saved his girlfriend's life, saved my life.
Bottom line, last night he wasted somebody.
A couple of will they won't they's, a run-in with the law, and 2 wasted ghosts later, Sam and Dean find themselves in Mississippi, investigating the recent deaths of some high-profile individuals. They discover that these victims, who were all killed by invisible hellhounds, had all made deals with the local crossroads demon, the kind of demon who makes appealing offers in exchange for your soul in hell. Not exactly the best bargain. Dean heads off to have a little chat with the demon and attempts to exorcise her, while Sam babysits the hellhounds' next meal. While trying to lure the demon into a devil's trap, the conversation heats up, and she lets slip that she knows all about the deal John made with Yellow Eyes to save Dean's life.
Knowing how your daddy died for you, how he sold his soul. I mean, that's gotta hurt.
She thinks she's got the upper hand until she walks right into Dean's trap. Dean then starts his exorcism, forcing her to begrudgingly accept Dean's offer to call off her hounds and go find a different corner to hustle on. Later, Sam has another psychic dream, this time about Dean shooting some guy tied to a chair. Following the clues from the vision, the brothers find themselves in a small town in Oregon when, out of nowhere, people in the town start going into a crazy violent rage. Dean goes looking for help from the next town over, but he gets cut off by the hillbilly military, so him and Sam are forced to hide out in the local clinic with all the other non-crazy people in town. The doctor there runs some blood tests and finds out that all the people who are getting knife and trigger happy seem to have some sort of sulfur-based virus in them. Sulfur is a dead giveaway for demon activity, by the way, which gets the brothers' attention.
A demonic virus.
Yeah, more like demonic germ warfare.
Sam's dream from earlier becomes a reality as Dean holds a gun to an infected dude, but this time, Dean decides not to pull the trigger. During all the drama, the nurse in the clinic finally gets a moment alone with Sam and jumps him, infecting him with the Croatoan virus as it's now been named. Some guns are drawn and everyone's on edge, until the doctor's tests show that Sam wasn't actually infected despite getting a full dose of sulfur blood from the nurse.
I don't know.
In fact, before the boys can solve the mystery, the whole thing blows over, and all the infected townsfolk just disappear. The remaining few survivors all decide to get the hell out of Dodge, and we see some spooky things happening with the guy that Dean didn't kill. It seems he's possessed by a demon, and he makes a call to the underworld, giving his bosses the good news about Sam.
The Winchester boy. Definitely immune as expected.
Sam's close call with the demon virus causes Dean to finally come clean about the secret their dad shared just before he died.
He just said that I had to save you, and that if I couldn't,
You'd what, Dean?
I'd have to kill you.
The brothers go their separate ways for a little while, and Sam returns to the roadhouse, where Ash gives him some new info about the other psychic kids. A girl named Ava tracks Sam down at his motel and shares that she's been having scary psychic premonitions in her sleep too, and recently she had a dream that Sam died in an explosion.
I saw you die.
The two team up to find out what they can about Yellow Eyes' plan.
What else does the yellow-eyed man say? He says there's a war coming. And people like me, we're gonna be the soldiers.
He's not talking about us, right?
But lo and behold, Gordon Walker crashes that party. Dean shows up just in time to save Sam, but gets himself captured in the process. Gordon uses Dean as bait to lure Sam into his trap, and while they wait for Sam to arrive, he monologues to Dean about what he knows and the demon's plans to use the psychic kids for evil, explaining that he's just trying to stop Sam before he can go full evil. Thanks to Ava's visions though, Sam is ready for what Gordon has prepared and out-hunts the hunter. The Winchester boys manage to escape, and the cops show up just in time to put an end to Gordon's shenanigans. Reunited, the brothers head off to find Ava, but it looks like she's been captured by some demons, leaving Sam with more questions than answers once again. For a while, things seem to calm down, and it's back to regular old monster hunting for the Winchesters, until Sam goes missing for a week, and a panicked Dean tries everything to find him. Sam eventually calls Dean, but has no memory of the past week, and the boys do some detective work piecing together Sam's movements. They eventually discover that the demon who possessed Meg back in season 1 has returned, and she's been Airbnb-ing Sam's body. With the help of Joe Harville and the legendary Bob Singer, they eventually manage to evict the unwanted tenant, and Bobby hands them some bling that should hopefully keep demons out in the future.
That demon's still out there. This'll stop it from getting back up in you.
That sounds vaguely dirty, but thanks.
The whole demonic possession thing really has Sam scared about turning evil though, but Dean's there to remind him that he'll always have his brother's back.
Now, if it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna save you.
The Winchesters try to put their demonic drama behind them by investigating a string of urban legends brought to life on a college campus, from alien abductions to alligators living in the sewers. They eventually learn that a trickster demigod is behind all the bizarre happenings, and he's been trying to drive a wedge between the brothers. Luckily, they manage to drive a wedge between his ribs. If there's one thing the boys should have learned though, it's that you can't trust everything you see. Over in San Francisco, the boys need to take care of some werewolves. After an intense game of rock, paper, scissors, Sam gets to babysit the werewolf's next target, Madison, while Dean is stuck with street patrol duty. But it turns out that the damsel in distress is actually a werewolf too. Sam stays on babysitting duty whilst Dean tries everything he can to break the curse. After all those cold nights together, Sam and Madison start getting real close, but it seems that there's just no way to get rid of her lycanthropy. At the end, she can't live with being a monster, and asks Sam to help her solve the problem. Needless to say, it's a real tearjerker for everyone. A few episodes later, Dean and Sam are hunting an ancient evil genie called a Djinn. Dean runs in head first, but the creature gets the jump on him and traps him in a trippy dream state, where the boys never lost their mom and never became hunters. Dean remembers his run-in with the Djinn, and he's confused by his twisted reality at first, but soon starts taking to the simple white picket fence life. He just can't stop seeing the ghosts of all the people he saved by not becoming a hunter though, and eventually the spirit of one of the genie's victims leads him back to the creature's lair. Here he realizes he's stuck in a dream,
I don't think you're real.
and kills himself in order to truly wake up and stop the Djinn. Dean can't stop thinking about all that him and his brother have sacrificed by becoming hunters, but Sam reminds him of all the lives they've saved by making that choice.
People are alive because of you. It's worth it, Dean. It is. It's not fair, and, it hurts like hell, but it's worth it.
Uh-oh, Sam goes missing again. This time he wakes up in an old frontier town, and with him are all the other psychic kids, Andy, Ava, and 2 new faces called Jake and Lily. They're all freaked out and confused, so Sam clears the air by explaining that they've been brought here by a demon.
It's less of a who, it's more of a what.
What does that mean?
Dean and Bobby head to the roadhouse to speak to Ash, but when they get there, all they find is Ash. Sam and the psychic gang band together to go looking for answers, but Lily tries to sneak off early. The demon convinces her to hang out for a little while longer though. Sam mentions how handy it would be to have Dean here, so Andy uses his mind powers to basically send Dean a Google pin of their location. That night, Yellow Eyes visits Sam in a dream and explains that the kids are all contestants in his little Hunger Games Battle Royale thing.
Welcome to the Miss America pageant. Why do you think you're here? This is a competition. Only one of you crazy kids is gonna make it out of here alive.
Yellow Eyes also shows Sam the blood-drinking truth about how he selected all the children for the contest.
What the hell are you doing to me?
Better than mother's milk.
Does this mean I have demon blood in me?
A little while later, Ava takes out Andy, and we learn that she's been here for a long while already, earning herself a bit of a reputation.
I'm the undefeated heavyweight champ.
But then Jake comes out of nowhere and ends her winning streak. And then there were 2. Sam calls for a truce, but Jake doesn't like the odds of that plan working for them. There's a little back and forth, but eventually Jake seems to come around. Dean finally arrives, but Jake's a real backstabber who ruins that reunion, and he runs off into the night, leaving Sam to die in his brother's arms.
Sammy!
Dean is taking his brother's death real hard, but Bobby tries to remind him that there's still a yellow-eyed demon who needs some hunting.
You know where I'll be.
Dean just can't accept Sam's death and does the only thing he can think of to get his brother back. He goes to the nearest crossroads to see a girl about a horse. The demon offers Dean 1 year to live in exchange for his brother's soul, with a little fine print of course.
If you try and welch or weasel your way out, then the deal is off. Sam drops dead, he's back to rotten meat in no time.
The two shake on it, and Sam is alive and kicking again. The brothers head over to Bobby's house, who looks like he's seen a ghost. Using data from Ash's weather app, they figure out where Yellow Eyes and double-crossing Jake are headed next, and it looks like a cemetery right at the center of a giant devil's trap built by Samuel Colt himself.
The demon-killing gun-making Samuel Colt?
Yep.
The gang all try to stop Jake from carrying out Yellow Eyes' plan, but Jake's got a few tricks of his own. Jake uses the magic Colt to open a gate into hell. Sam shoots Jake in the back, poetic justice, if you will. But it all seems a little too late, as the gate swings open and hundreds of demons start busting out. Yellow Eyes makes an appearance and he's about to kill Dean when the ghost of Papa Winchester breaks out of hell and swoops in to save the day. Yellow Eyes is distracted and Dean takes a shot at the Colt, finally putting an end to the big bad and getting revenge for their mom's death. Ellen and Bobby manage to close the gate and John's spirit takes the express elevator up to heaven, where he truly belongs. As the dust settles, Sam remembers something Jake said.
You were dead, I killed you.
And realizes that Dean has been keeping a secret from him.
How long you get?
I got 1 year.
Guess I gotta save your ass for a change.
Well,
Ellen and Bobby stumble over and remind the boys about the 100 or so demons that just broke out of hell, but at least the Winchester brothers seem upbeat and ready to take on the challenge.
We got work to do.
And that's how season 2 of Supernatural closes and sets up for the next season. Sam's alive again, but Dean only has a year to live. John's soul is finally out of hell, but Yellow Eyes managed to unleash an evil army onto the world. There were some epic wins and some grave sacrifices this season. Before we go though, we'd love to give a shout out to some of our favorite ghosts and ghouls. The Rakshasa was a cool reimagining of the ancient Hindu mythology and a great way to start the new season. The curious case of the zombie woman and her undead boyfriend definitely had us on the edge of our seats, and it was really refreshing to see the boys get a little help from their friends when Joe joined them to track down and take care of a serial killer's ghost. And finally, the episode with the cruelty-free vampires and the lovely Madison as the werewolf really had us sympathizing with the monsters. Thanks for watching another episode of Previously On, where we get you back in the loop of all your favorite TV shows.
I'm sorry, baby. I'll never leave you again.
Feel free to check out some of our other recaps, and don't forget to like and subscribe.